Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative Eddy. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. It's Tuesday, it's Valentine's Day, love is in the air, can I get to the yeah? No, I'm not finna do all that. This be your boy Eddy, and welcome to your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. It's the day after the Super Bowl, well, a couple days after the Super Bowl at this point in time. We're all feeling good, everybody is happy for the most part. Let's see. We got to see Patrick Mahomes' daddy once again because he's the gift that keeps on giving, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to shut up because I'm rambling incoherently. And I got two of the best co-hosts in the world because you could listen to me all day, but you don't want to. Trust me, I don't even want to listen to me. Introducing first, the almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna steal this from Scottie D. Because everybody may be feeling good, but I might be slightly depressed because we ain't got no more football. And when I say we ain't got no more football, I mean, yes, we got the XFL coming up. Yes, we got the USFL coming up. But we have no more NFL. It went from 32 teams to one, and now it's the off season, and every team's going to try their best to scramble and do what the Kansas City Chiefs have already put together. Franchise quarterback, awesome coach and assistant coaches, offensive line, defensive line, then the secondary, then the wide receivers, the tight ends, then running back, and then safeties, and then special teams. And then, I may be naming all the things that my Panthers need. But my bad. I apologize.
I'm over here like, damn. You want a long snapper, the fans in the stand, Harry the hot dog vendor?
Oh, trust and believe I would replace half our fans in a heartbeat. But I digress. Go ahead and introduce the other guy. Let him talk about something. Sing us a song and do what he do. Yes, sir.
And the other guy. Not only is he the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, other than being the man of money, and he is not from North Carolina. He is, pound for pound, the strongest lunch lady in the Trinity School District, and he does not burn up the breakfast pizza. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scottie D.
I just called to say I love you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Happy Valentine's to all you lovely ladies. Listen out there, all two or three of you. Yes, it is a Valentine's Day episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Yeah, man, it was an interesting weekend. There was an outstanding UFC card on Saturday night and an outstanding football game on Sunday. And guys, no need to delay any further. Let's talk about that big game we saw on Sunday. Did you love it? Did you love it? Did you love the game?
All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order. And to answer your question about the game, Scottie D, I love it. You know what? I think I was just happy just to see, hey, it's the Super Bowl. We got two good teams playing. And I'm not going to lie, this one was like real hard to predict, like who was going to win and by how much. And of course, you know, they got this whole thing about the script being out there. I'll talk about that script and all that mess and mess later on in my pepper point. But yeah, it's just I think it was a good game, despite the call that got everybody up in arms. Speaking of that call, fellas, how do you feel about that call being called when it was, if that makes sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you think it had an effect on the game? What say y'all? Scottie D, what say you?
Yeah, it definitely had an effect on the game. And guys, I've been very open with my disdain to the Eagles. I obviously do not like that team because I'm a Cowboy fan. And I was rooting for Kansas City, and I picked them to win 23-20. I picked them to win by field goal. I was right on that, but the scoring was way higher than I expected. But yes, that call did affect the game, and I didn't love it. Was the call correct? You could argue very strongly that it was the correct call. That the defensive back grabbed Juju Smith-Schuster, which he did, and he said he did. He did. He not only grabbed the jersey, but he impeded his progress trying to release from the line of scrimmage, with his left hand. He definitely did. I didn't love it because I thought that for the most part, the officials allowed that game to be decided on the field. I've heard coaches before say, if I don't know the referees are out there, if they're not calling much, I'm cool with that. And when they say that, that means there will be missed calls going against them both ways. You had two very, very stout defensive fronts here, and you had no sacks either way. I think one sack was registered. That was when Jalen Hurts ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. That was, I think, the only sack registered in the game. That means you're telling me for 60 minutes, no offensive lineman held a defensive lineman. Kind of hard to believe that, but I'm okay with that.
Very hard to believe.
Very hard to believe that those good offensive or defensive lines didn't get held at any point during the game. And I'm okay with that because that's the way they called it. But the referees, for the most part, kept the flags in their pockets. I think Kansas City finished with 3 penalties, and I think the Eagles, that controversial one, I think was their 6th of the game. And most of those penalties that were called were like pre-snap penalties, offsides and neutral zone infractions, that kind of stuff. So the subjective penalties were not called a lot. And as a matter of fact, there was a penalty earlier in the game that Juju Smith-Schuster was the receiver, and I think it was the same defensive back. I'm forgetting his name at the moment. The one the penalty was called on.
James Bradbury.
Bradbury, yeah. And Bradbury, I think in that same instance, got there early, and it should have been an interference call, and it was not. And the Chiefs punted. And that was a big missed call, in my opinion. A call that should have been made. Everyone says that call at the end of the game really affected the outcome of the game. But who's to say that call early wouldn't have led to a Chiefs touchdown? So I can understand both sides of this because I think the call overall was probably a correct call. I didn't love it because they had let so much go on through the game. They didn't over penalize. And I liked it. I thought the game, for the most part, was well officiated. And I hate hearing this, the fix was in stuff, and they won because of that call. And come on with that. The fact of the matter is they were up 10 at halftime. Mahomes had the ball 4 times in the second half and scored on all of them. You didn't stop him. You had your opportunity to run and hide from this team, and you didn't do it. Going back, we had a play at one point. The Eagles were pretty much driving the ball at will. They were not getting stopped at all. There's a 3rd and 2 call. After Kadarius Toney scored, he's wide open. That's another thing, Eagles fans. You want to be mad that the Chiefs scored 2 touchdowns and nobody was in the same area code as you, or the same zip code on either touchdown. They both times the receiver ran that in route and back to the outside, and nobody picked them up. Blown coverage. Well, after the Kadarius Toney one, the next series the Eagles punted, and that was after they had a 3rd and 2. Now they've been picking 3rd and 2s up all game long. Jalen Hurts is running like a madman all game long, and that one he dropped back. He was about 14 yards behind the line of scrimmage and got chased and had to throw the ball out of bounds. And that was followed up with the longest punt return in Super Bowl history. That sets up Patrick Mahomes at the 5-yard line. When you see those things, you can't just say the officials were against you. The officials on a replay took a touchdown off the board that Kansas City had scored defensively. It was a bang call, and they, what I think, correctly ruled that the receiver didn't have it, but he actually did catch and turn 2 steps, boom, the ball comes out. My point is, if they were against the Eagles, if they were trying to make the Eagles lose the game, you had a touchdown already on the board they could have let stand. I don't buy into the officials were the reason that the Eagles lost this game. I just don't. Not whenever you're up 10 at halftime. Go ahead, B Live.
One thing I do specialize from time to time is that I do like to make memes. I do like to take some fans knee-jerk reactions and make it somewhat comical. So yes, I did plug into the conspiracy theory when I made a meme of Jalen Hurts and by the quarter, and then put a picture of Cam Newton because they were headhunted during that Super Bowl.
That was funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are comical. This is not necessarily what I actually believe.
You're a funny guy. You are a funny
guy. I will feed into some things, and then of course James Bradbury, because after the game he says he admits that he held Juju Smith-Schuster. And I'm like, I was like, did somebody slip you a check in between the times and take the heat off the referees? So, let me slide this over to you. Now, on real, there was 2 plays that were the detriment of the Philadelphia Eagles on the defensive side of the ball. It was a double move. I don't know exactly what it's called, but the wide receiver fakes like he's doing a slant route and then does a wheel route outside. I don't know. There's a specific name of that play, but God forbid if the Eagles did not get burnt every time on that play. That was the play that James Bradbury held Juju Smith-Schuster on. That was the play that Kadarius Toney was by himself on one time, and there was what was it, Sky Moore? Yeah. And nobody was on that side of the field. It was the same exact play. For those that played Madden, if you hit triangle and then hit L1, it will flip the play. That's exactly what they did. Like, it ran on the right side, then they turned around, flipped the play, and ran it on the left side. And there was absolutely nobody on that side of the field both times. I've never seen anybody that wide open. And so those are the plays. It was the timing of that penalty. A lot of people will sit and say that, the tick for tap, blah, 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 yada, yada. Yes, the flags weren't coming out in bunches, and that was a crucial time. But, I mean, if you impede the player's process at any point in time, it can be called. Just because it isn't called one time and it is called the second time doesn't mean that you weren't wrong both times. There's been a lot of times where I've been on the road and I've been burning it down. No, I'm speeding and got no business, just extra, and I didn't get caught. That does not mean I wasn't wrong all the time. So let's stop there. So yeah, that conspiracy stuff, I like to feed into it because it's funny how people react to stuff. Didn't have a dog in the fight. But yeah, the Philly defense was not the Philly defense that I'm used to seeing. The fact that Mahomes did not get sacked at all.
Zero. None.
The Eagles this season had the 3rd most sacks in NFL history. And give a goose egg with a limping Patrick Mahomes, you got to give credit to Kansas City's offensive line at this point in time, because, man, I thought Hassan Reddick was going to cause all kinds of ruckus back there, and that did not happen. And
see, B-Live, remember we talked about this last week too. Remember, I said I thought that the Eagles hadn't faced anybody like this. And remember, we were listing some of the teams on the schedule, and I said, they faced Trevor Lawrence early. They faced Jared Goff early. They faced the Cowboys with Cooper Rush early. They faced Dak on Christmas Day, and he lit him up for over 30. So I think, I hate saying overrated because they were actually the best team and the best defense in the league. But that was kind of what I was alluding to last week. I didn't think they had been tested enough, particularly as of late, whenever they played the 49ers who didn't have a quarterback on the field.
Right. And that I will agree with you on that because sometimes you can have the talent, but if it's not utilized, you may face somebody that you might not have all the way been ready for. And simply put, Patrick Mahomes was more than what the Eagles were ready for. And even like in certain situations, there's one thing that's not been talked about a lot, but I mean, that has not been talked about at all. But it was a 14-point swing when Jalen Hurts didn't get touched and lost the ball.
Fluke play.
Just blip, blip, blip. That was a 14-point swing. because the Eagles were moving.
They were driving,
yes. Man, they were driving. I was like, oh, this is it. Man, the Eagles are. And he was like, oh, no, y'all can have that one. And ran that one first.
Chiefs had no answer for them at that point in the game.
Now, and here's the crazy part. And shout out again to Jalen Hurts, because I know that was a fluke play, but good Lord, if he didn't carry this team on his back.
He was outstanding.
Good Lord.
He was outstanding, yeah.
He played one hell of a game outside of that fumble. I mean, over 300 yards passing, 70 yards rushing, 3 rushing touchdowns. Dude, the MVP, except that he didn't win the game.
Yeah.
God,
you almost could have given it to him anyway.
Right. I'm over here looking at some things. I did not see too much of Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. What happened? Where y'all at? Put out
Chiefs outrushed them decisively. That was a big difference in the game. And part of the reasons why Hurts threw for so many more yards than Mahomes did, because Mahomes didn't have the ball that often, and when they were driving, the running game was effective.
So yeah, it is crazy. The time of possession, Eagles, yardage, Eagles, all across the board. But it's a lot. There was a lot of different factors, but it's one of those things where we see something and we all immediately knee-jerk reaction. The Eagles had plenty, and I mean plenty of opportunities to win this game, and they did not capitalize. And so hats off, but fellas, 2 Super Bowl wins in the first 5 seasons. Is Patrick Mahomes the new face of the NFL? And do we start already putting them in the you know what? I'm almost tired of this animal. This animal keeps getting mentioned more and more and more when it comes to comparison stuff like this. Nah. Do we put Patrick Mahomes in the GOAT conversation already?
Go ahead, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and say first off.
Talk to us about how you feel about the Super Bowl.
All right, so how I feel about Super Bowl real quick to answer that question. The Super Bowl, it was a great contest. The game was tightly contested. The Eagles, they had a game plan in the first half, and in the second half, I don't want to say the bottom fell out. It's just I don't know what the hell Andy Reid said, but he got them together, and then he got the Chiefs back out there, and they, did what they did best. And
they were flawless in the second half. By the way.
Yeah, they were.
The way the Chiefs played in the second half, I was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah,
and shout out to the pharmaceutical company, whatever was in that shot that Mahomes got a little boost. Yeah. I thought it was over. I thought that ankle was through, and he came out the second half was like just running all over. My bad, I just interrupted stuff.
No, it's all good. You're right. And I was going to allude to that too. Like he left the first half limping, came back, super Patrick Mahomes. And so they played a flawless game. I think from the time of possession standpoint, the Eagles did a good job in the first half, keeping him off the field and wearing down that defense. Because I said, man, the Eagles was just like, look, we're going to run this ball and we're going to run the ball effectively as much as they can. Like it was like a 3rd and 1 and 3rd and inches. They do like the bunch formation, everybody pushing, and it was
the Jalen Hurts special. I squat 600 pounds.
Yeah. The damn Jalen Hurts special. You got like a 1/4 ton of men just pushing bodies everywhere, making things happen. It's nuts, man. It's crazy. But as far as the GOAT conversation goes, I'm tired of it. I look at it like this. Patrick Mahomes, I got one better for you. At this rate, Patrick Mahomes is on his way to a Hall of Fame career.
Oh, he's first ballot.
He's on his way to a Hall of Fame career because Brady is still, as far as like winning wise, he's still the gold standard with 7 championships. So if Patrick Mahomes gets another more, then he'll be in that conversation of some of the best all-time quarterbacks. I will say this though, like, what is there Patrick Mahomes? What is there that Patrick Mahomes cannot do? I mean, I told people, it's like, man, you think Kansas City gonna win the Super Bowl? I'm like, yeah, they probably gonna win the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna tell you why. I said, just think. You lose Tyreek Hill in the offseason. You wind up signing Marquez Valdez. I can't catch nothing Scantling. You draft rookie Sky Moore, and then you get Juju, Corvette, TikTok, Smith Schuster. And then you wind up getting Kadarius Toney in the middle of the season. And you take that, and then you also got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who can't stay healthy, and here come Isaiah Pacheco. I'll say this: Clyde Edwards-Helaire, your ass is in trouble from a job standpoint. I hope you get well, but you're in trouble. You are in trouble. But
he was actually a healthy scratch.
Yeah,
like they activated him, but then scratched him. Like, hey, I'm sorry, we can only suit up 53. So
yeah,
that Pacheco runs hard.
Yeah, Pacheco,
But I tell you what, Helaire may have gotten that another crack at that job had McKinnon on the run, slid at the 1 yard line at the very end of the game to set up the field goal. Yeah. He almost stood up and walked into the end zone. If you noticed his momentum when he stood back up, he almost tipped into the end zone. Who was it that did that a few years ago? Was it Gurley or somebody that accidentally scored and everybody was mad at him?
No, it was Ahmad Bradshaw that 1 year.
Maybe that's who it was. But I know everyone was
in the Super Bowl.
Mad at somebody. Well, no, this was a non-Super Bowl game, but somebody had done that. They scored accidentally.
I think it was Gurley that you're talking about.
I think so too. Yeah, but had McKinnon stood up and then fallen into the end zone, and then the Eagles came back and scored, that would have been an incredible story right there. That would have been even crazier than this penalty situation. But and I was going to say, let's throw this in there. Speaking of somebody that may not have a job after the Super Bowl, the entire field crew,
oh my God,
the grounds crew for the State Farm Stadium.
All of you fired.
Wow.
No.
What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment for the league that was. People want to talk about the officiating wasn't good. It was fine. They were good. The players were good. Some say the national anthem was good. Most of the stuff was good, but that was terrible. And I noticed that I first noticed when Kelce scored his first touchdown, he slipped into the end zone. Then he got up and he was doing his dumb dance. I got some words for Kelce too, by the way, in a moment. But he's doing his dance. But these guys are slipping all over the place. This is a pretty big game to not have good field conditions, especially when you had all this time to prepare. And I'll tell you,
two whole weeks was like I learned when I was young. 2 weeks is 14 days. You can get a lot done in 14 days, including taking care of that damn grass.
You got to have it. You got to have it better than that. And you don't need that much paint on the field. That may have even been a reason why Butker missed the extra or the field goal that he did. He was kicking out of different colors, and that might be something that kickers are not accustomed to. You same like when you line up over a golf shot, sometimes it doesn't look right. Maybe it changed his eye. Who's to say? But the footing, the one kicker, the other kicker slipped kicking the ball off for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
there was slips everywhere.
You can't have that. And can you imagine had the Eagles gotten the ball back with that minute and a half down a field goal? And what if they have a guy streaking to the end zone and he slips and falls before he can get his hands on the ball because the field conditions are poor? Oh my gosh, you can't have that. That cannot be a factor. Not to that degree. That was terrible. Yeah. And I heard somebody say on one of the post-game shows that it was the same thing for Oregon and Auburn, I believe, in a national championship game several years ago. The same surface, the same stadium. Mm-hmm. If you have that happen 8-9 years ago and it's still happening, quit it. Do better. Go somewhere else. If you can't put on a good Super Bowl because your field sucks, don't go there.
Yeah, that's something that's definitely got to be reevaluated because it was bad. And the thing about it is that I've had knee and ankle injuries in the past, and every time I see stuff like that, it scares the crap out of me. And I'm not even athletic anymore. This an ankle, knees, MCLs, ACLs, and all that stuff. Those are not anything to play with.
Yeah. And they're lucky nobody got hurt like one of the major players last night. I mean, fortunately, injuries didn't really play much of a factor into the game, but very easily could have. I mean, if you're planting and trying to make a turn and your leg goes one way and your body goes the other, Oh man, that was ridiculous. That has to be. You're right, B. That has to be addressed.
Um, I was over here. Like, the thing about it is, I was gonna make a meme of that. I couldn't find a picture of the dude, but I was like, bruh, yeah, that needs to be reevaluated at some point in time. At the end of the day, all in all, it was a highly competitive matchup. It was what we expected, a little bit more scoring than what we expected, but all in all, just a good Super Bowl with just points and places that we can always talk about. I'm still like, how can you be that wide open? My God. Yeah. But just for the sake of, Scottie D, please tell us how you feel about every time they give Travis Kelce the mic.
Let's get it.
This guy, I mean, he's completely ridiculous. He's yelling and screaming, "You got to give us our respect. You got to show us our respect." Dude, I picked you to win last week. Quit yelling at me. I gave you respect. It ain't my fault. Everybody thinks you're good, dude. Everybody thinks you're good. You've been to the Super Bowl now 3 times in 4 years. There's plenty of respect. To go out there and yell and act like a complete douche after the football game over on national is inexcusable. This guy is a clown. I think Travis Kelce very possibly might be the greatest tight end of all time. He's in there, I think, in a party of 2 with Tony Gonzalez. But dude, don't give this guy a microphone because he sucks at that. Give Gronk the mic. Give Gronk a microphone. He knows how to get on a mic and make you smile. He's over the top. Every time this guy talks, this happened after the championship game a couple weeks ago too. He's yelling at the Bengals fans and come on, man. I mean, give me a little relief from Travis Kelce in the microphone.
Speaking of Gronk and the microphone, did y'all see that little bit between Sean Payton and Gronk when they were doing their predictions? And
I missed that. That
was funny as hell. So they were sitting there and it's like, all right, everybody, all right, we made our picks. Now it's over to Gronk and Coach Sean Payton. And so, like, you can tell it was staged, but they was like, look, if you hang around, get your job in Denver, you ain't got nothing to worry about, man. You ain't got nothing to worry about. And, I mean, they were just open talking. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, picks. I picked the Eagles by 7. I picked the Kansas City Chiefs by 14. Back to you guys. I was like, this is hilarious. That was so doggone funny, man. Just to see them be like that candid and that open. Was like, look, I'm trying to get your job and everything. Hell, who knows? We can't say that's tampering because he's retired. So it's kind of like, hey, man,
Did he fill out his papers? That's the new thing now. Yeah. Good Lord. But I wanted to say this. You know who I blame for Travis Kelce?
Who?
Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Not everything has to be a WWE promo. That's exactly what it is. It's like you can see the WWE influence in all of our daily lives. It's like, yo, okay, I get it.
But do it good. Do it good. Do better. You're not doing very well at them. I mean, his promos suck.
Might have to link him up.
Give us respect. Okay, dude.
And not a man one pick. Not a man one. I was like, what?
Well, you got to understand. You got to understand who does the cooking at the house, and he for the culture at least. You know what I'm saying? My bad.
East Cleveland's own. Travis Kelce, he's a tiger, true and true. As they say in Cleveland Heights, go Heights, go. They got a pretty good program over there. But yeah, that's it for football, the NFL for now. But I'll talk to you a little bit more in our pepper section about the XFL and the Week 1 schedule.
Oh.
Yes.
Are you really? Oh man.
Yeah, just to see you, just to see your face turn, Scott. Just like like you smelled a hot fart on a hot day in the zoo with some sour milk.
We've got 2 leagues, 3 actually. You got the XFL, the USFL, got fan control football. Man, we are jam packed with football all year. Then throw in the Canadian football. Man, we got football all year long now.
Year-round football.
No, we don't.
Scottie D. Cavante Turpin was the MVP of the USFL, and he did pretty good playing for the Cowboys. Come on now,
He was about your best player
at
on
one
the Cowboys.
point. Yes, Kevontae Turpin.
We're not talking about the Cowboys. We're done with that.
Scottie D,
We're done.
You had a MVP on your team, and his name was not Dak, CD, Tony Pollard, nor Zeke.
True, and let me just say this too. By the way,
here we go.
I've been very kind about not like harping on. I hate the Eagles. Ha ha, we lost. I'm not doing that. But before the game started, Dak Prescott was given the Walter Payton Man of the Year award and got booed. And why is that? Because who's in the stadium? Philly fans. Come on. I don't like Dak either, but I felt kind of warm and fuzzy for me when they were showing him working with special needs kids and stuff, and you booed him. There you go. Philly.
Eagles fans booed Dak Prescott. They booed LeBron James when they mentioned him. You can see him over there.
Yeah, you make it hard to be sympathetic, Philly fan, and I haven't seen the damage yet, but I'm sure you burned up the city last night because you got a bad call at the end.
Tore it down. They tore it down. They probably did. Ain't no telling.
You already know there's a stage TV destruction and a car got flipped. They said a car got flipped before the game. That makes zero sense to me. But,
why is we flipping cars and the coin hadn't been flipped yet? That's my whole thing. Hey man,
at least Dak got a trophy on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh boy.
At least Dak got a trophy on Super Bowl Sunday. Yes. Thanks, Jared Jones. Go restructure his deal now. So a year from now, I can talk about the Eagles in the Super Bowl again. All right. Anyway.
All right, Scottie D. We're gonna put a cap on the Cowboy talk. Coming up next, the NBA trades. I don't know about y'all, but I had a hard time trying to keep up. I'm glad I got some notes right here. Talking about that next, right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. We go from the Shield to the Association, also known as the logo. No, it's the Association. NBA trades, wheeling and dealing. Whoa! People going all over the place, switching coast. And if you ask me, everything was fine until John Morant said, only thing we got to do is worry about Boston. And what did you do?
Boy,
hey, look.
Pandora's box.
Everything came flying out. Check out the visual aid on our YouTube channel. So John Morant opened up Pandora's box, and every damn thing came out. The biggest trade, fellas, well, one of the two biggest trades, was Kyrie saying, you know what, you don't restructure my deal, I'm the hell up out of here. He goes out west to Dallas, and then KD said, FTS, I'm not sticking around for this mess. I want to go to Phoenix. Do you think that Kyrie going to Dallas is going to work, or is it going to fall on its face? Be Live, what say you?
As I mentioned before, when it comes to Kyrie, the fact that Luka has the ball all the time, like their offense goes through Luka. And so now to have someone that Kyrie, once he really develops that off the ball, like if you can bring us back to Kyrie when he played with LeBron James, if that happens, then man, you got a sight to see. Do I see a championship? I still don't see that. I see a dynamic, but that was more or less just what can we get? That was more Brooklyn's what can we get to get Kyrie out of here? And they just jumped. And it was also where what can we get where Kyrie doesn't get what he wants to get him out of here? I think it's going to be fun to watch, but it's not going to produce a championship. I think I think Durant going to the Suns has a better chance producing a championship. Now Durant stays healthy, because that is something that it's going to be. It's going to be like an artist with a paintbrush, because Durant knows how to play off the ball, but Devin Booker knows how to play off the ball. CP3 knows how to distribute. He may be just outside of his prime, but he knows how to get the ball. He knows how to operate that system. And DeAndre Ayton, he's going to benefit from that as well. Like, that's going to be a beautiful thing to see. I think more than anything, John Morant, bro, I love you. South Carolina, you nasty with it, boy. You may need to stop talking. God,
just for a little bit.
Just bring it down just a little bit. Enjoy your money, and you trust me, and keep dunking on dudes, because this dude dunks with reckless abandon. Like, good Lord, doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, because he wound up running poor Jakob Poeltl from San Antonio to Toronto, because he got traded too.
Time will tell, because it was one of those things. We were already in a season where nobody really wanted to grab the bull by the horns outside of Boston on the east side. Like, everything else is up in the air. We don't even really like. I actually would need to take a little bit of time to find out who exactly is leading in the West. I think.
Is it Denver? I think it's Denver.
Exactly. Like, and I may throw my laptop against the wall if it don't get right.
You ain't got to do all that. You do not have to do all that, be loud, because guess what I'm doing? I got the standings right here. Denver leads the West at 39-18. Followed by Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, 34-22. The Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, I called that years ago. I called that. I said this is that team is very young. Once they start gelling together, they're gonna be. So they didn't snuck up on some people.
Well, I'm gonna call this one right now. Look out for the 2030 Brooklyn Nets, because they have got some picks, baby.
Yeah.
Watch out for. Let's go scout some middle schoolers right now. See who's the next big thing for 2030.
There's some 8th graders out there that are going to lead the Nets back to glory.
And they don't even know it yet. They don't even know it yet. Scottie D, what you think about the trade? Kyrie going to Dallas.
The way I think about anything with Kyrie, it's going to end in disaster.
He don't give a
it's going to be
damn.
awful. It's going to end up. It's going to blow up at some point, sooner than later, probably. I think Kevin Durant going to the Suns was definitely the biggest move, because Kevin Durant has already proved that he can go to an established team of stars and fit in and win. Mm-hmm. And the Suns team was in the finals just 2 years ago. They came up short last year. But wouldn't it be good watching TV to have the Phoenix Suns versus the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals this spring? Oh, that would be nice. That would be good. And I think that the Suns would overcome that team the way they're constructed right now.
The Golden State Warriors are fighting just to get into the play-in tournament right now.
I get that. But there's still enough basketball left where they can get in. They weren't the top seed last year either, were they? I think they struggled just to.
Phoenix was the top seed last year. They were good.
Yeah. So I again, we're still ways off. Steph Curry hasn't been playing; he's been hurt, but that would be very, very good watching. I think it would be a great story to see if it's Kevin Durant versus his old boys to get into the finals. I think that would be excellent. I do think Phoenix now is in the driver's seat more so than Dallas, just because I think Kyrie at some point he's gonna blow up. Now he's gonna make them better while he plays. And right now he might be in the honeymoon phase, but I don't think that's going to last very long. Something's bound to come up with this guy, because something always does. He's been at 3 stops, one of which the whole organization built around him and tried to please him, and that didn't work. And they couldn't wait to get rid of him. Goodbye. We'll send you and the guy you wanted to come with you. We'll get rid of you both in back-to-back days. But maybe the most overlooked was Mo Bamba to the Lakers. Woo! The Lakers are now back in business, baby. Mo Bamba. addition by subtraction, Westbrook is gone.
Ugh.
D'Angelo Russell's back. If only they had thought maybe not to get rid of D'Angelo Russell in the first place. Magic Johnson didn't like the video with him and Swaggy P and all that controversy. And he went for Lonzo Ball in the draft. And what a mistake that was. Somehow Rob Pelinka maintains his job. Anyway, I do think Russell was going to help the Lakers upgrade a little bit. And the Lakers got a lot younger. They got rid of Patrick Beverly, also older, and picked up some other under 30 players. But it seemed like they picked up all like role players, bit players, and nothing spectacular. So I'm not factoring them in either.
But that's what they. Here's the thing. I'm going to give the Lakers and Rob Pelinka a benefit of the doubt here. That's what they needed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
They absolutely needed role players. They didn't need another superstar.
I agree.
For good Lord, I would can I cuss and say they for damn sure didn't need Russell Westbrook. That was a disaster from Jump Street. I called it. They were, oh man, 6th Man of the Year award. I'm like, that's half the problem right there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this real quick because I saw it and I was trying to pull it up. Since Russell Westbrook signed that ridiculous contract, that supermax that he signed, that he has now played. He's now been on 5 different teams in that 5-year contract. Ooh. 5 different teams since he signed that contract. How they keep getting them wheeled and dealed in this time is beyond me. But man, oh man,
he's so tantalizing. He's so tantalizing because you see the gifts that he had, and you've seen like he averaged a triple-double and all this stuff, but he didn't have the chemistry, and he doesn't seem to have chemistry with many, I guess. Unfortunately,
he doesn't have chemistry with anybody because he's so stats driven that it's like if it's not going through him, I knew it was wrong from Jump Street way back in Oklahoma City when you've got Kevin Durant on your team and James Harden on your team. Why is Russell Westbrook leading your team in shot attempts?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook is the one that's leading the team in shot attempts. Something is wrong. And it's been that way the entire time. It's like your personal individual stats are only going to get you but so far. But that was one of the surprising trades. Guess another one that people are not talking about too much because it really is so insignificant. It really doesn't matter. But the beginning of the season, a certain player got traded away to the Los Angeles Clippers. And as he was leaving and went to Los Angeles Clippers, he was like, man, I'm so glad to get the heck out of this town and from this team and this trash and da. Just to get traded back to that same team.
Wow.
And he's back with the Houston Rockets, and we're talking about John Wall. Like, it's so insignificant, but it's the fact that you never know what these executives are going to do. And you talk cash about this, how bad Houston was, and now you got traded back to the worst team in the NBA. It's like, John Wall,
kicking that sand into the litter box, and there you are, back in the crap again.
Somebody else with a supermax contract that did not pan out at all.
Yeah, he was robbed with the injuries, though. I mean, to me, he's reminiscent of Derrick Rose, who early in his career was explosive, and to me, sometimes John Morant looks that same way, and you just hope that injuries don't claim him as well. But yeah, John Wall at one point looked like he was like a world beater, and just couldn't shake the injury bug.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Now he's literally going to be just brushed aside to may never be heard of again because you're not going to see another big contract from him. And now he's on a Rockets team that are literally bottom of the barrel. There was so much. I was trying to create that video that I made. I made the mistake of starting that video before the deadline, like before 3:00, and I'm over here. Oh crap! I'm just like, wait, hold on, wait. Oh, I gotta go and scratch all this. But I had Patrick Beverly still on the Lakers, and that's he gone. And that was another one where Patrick Beverly had tweeted like, when D'Angelo Russell was traded to the Lakers, like, oh man, the gang is back together again. And then, yeah, I was like, yo, why they do my man like that? But it's
don't hit send. Don't hit send.
Yeah, don't press send. Don't press send. Hey, you know what should have been funny? Be like, you would have made a meme with him doing the camera, and then you look and it has the announcement: Patrick Beverly's been traded to the Timberwolves. That would have been so funny.
I did a little piece of that video. It's a little like little side gag where I put where Jay Crowder got traded from Phoenix to Brooklyn and then got traded to I believe it was Minnesota. He got traded to
Utah. I think it was Utah.
Or it could have been
maybe I forget where he went.
Again, too hard to keep track of. I stopped trying. I was like, let me put these notable trades in this video that I put together. But I was like, oh, he got traded again as I'm making a video. So let me just fade him out of this so that the end too.
Yeah. But, how the Jay Crowder trade breaks down, it involves the Suns, the Nets, and the Bucks. So
he went to the Bucks. He's
ooh. Yeah.
That's good for them. That's a good pickup.
All right. So here we go. The Suns received Kevin Durant and TJ Warren. And I know you're probably wondering, who is TJ Warren? Just look up Bubble Basketball. And he was the guy dropping 30 and 40 points and some stuff like that. You got him. And the Nets, in turn, they get Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Juan Pablo Vallet, and they get a 2023 first round from a 2023 first, 3 2023 first round picks. I'm sorry, a 2023 first round pick from Phoenix, the 2025 first round pick from Phoenix, 2027 first round pick from Phoenix, a 2028 pick swap from Phoenix, a 2028 second round pick from Milwaukee. I'm out of breath. 2029 first round pick from Phoenix, and a 2029 second round pick from Milwaukee. The Bucks, they get Jay Crowder, and the Pacers get George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Nwora, 3 future first round picks from the Bucks, and some money from the Nets.
That's just one. That's one trade involving 3 teams. There was way too much going on, man.
So much goes into trades in professional sports. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you get traded for a 3rd round draft pick, a pack of Marblite 100s, some gummy worms, a 3-piece dinner and a biscuit from Dodge's Chicken, Tom Brady's left pinky toenail, and $3. Like what the hell? Oh man, that's it, fellas. But guess what time it is?
What time? What are we about to get into? Is it that time?
Oh,
is it that time?
Yes, time to give the Chiefs their respect.
Because not a nail number, Scottie D.
Nobody gives them respect.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm like, man, what the hell wrong with you? I'm glad you asked, fellas. It's time once again for our favorite portion of the show. You guessed it. It's the choices of the voices. With that being said, hey, yo, Button, hit it. Choices of the voices coming right at you, right here on the Sports Bros Podcast.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and watch your ears, Scottie. So lovely, Miss Button, for introducing our favorite portion of the show. That's right. You guessed it. You heard it. You know it. It is the choices of the voices. We ask y'all questions. You give us answers, and then B-Live decides where your answer corresponds with the topic at hand, and he might put you in the penalty box, or he might not. But with that being said, Scottie D, what's on tap for this week's choices of the voices?
Well, I got sick of hearing about Kyrie Irving last week, so I asked, who else out there, professional athlete-wise, have we either in the past or currently, we're just tired of hearing about them. Their drama just drains us. We get fatigued from hearing about their stories. And we did have a couple good answers here, Eddie Cool.
All right, so let's get right into it. Diamond Dave Ramito, he says Rodgers immediately comes to mind. No shortage of drama there. He's not lying about that.
Yeah, I think isn't he like in the dark or something right now? You know, he had to go to the dark.
That's just what we'll get to that.
Yeah. I'm already tired. Just that sentence is exhausting.
I don't know. I guess he's sitting in the closet naked in the dark or something like that. Calling that a treat. Hell, I don't know. It don't make a damn difference. Yeah, we're gonna move right along, B-Live. We're gonna move right along. Corey Logren gave us a image/graphic, and he is tired of Bernie, a cutout of Weekend at Bernie Lomax, the legendary Terry Kisser or Kaiser, from the Bernie Mac series. I mean, not Bernie Mac series, but the Weekend at Bernie series. Yeah, so he's tired of looking at Bernie.
Yeah, I don't know.
We never really got an explanation. Scottie D asked, and we got nothing. So we don't know what the hell your answer was. So penalty box. Come on, man. You gotta be a little bit clearer with what the hell is going on. Because we were like, all right. So I'm just gonna leave the picture up there. And just for space, I was like, all right, cool. Moving on.
All right, moving right along. Craig Burns, he gives us a hee-hee-ha-ha emoji. He says this in a graphic of a postcard that says, greetings from Tampa Bay with Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady. So he's tired of hearing about Tom, Edward, Patrick, Carmichael, Jingleheimer, Smith, Brady.
Yeah.
Well, you get him for another 10 years if you're tuning in on Fox for the whopping grand total of $375 million. Oh, God bless.
Just to talk about damn football.
And he gets to take a year off and then come in 2024. He said he's taking a year off to learn the craft and learn and hone his skills when it comes to broadcasting. Oh, dear God.
And then he'll be probably bumping Greg Olson, who, by the way, did it. He did it.
I will fight. Greg Olson is doing his thing.
But Greg Olson, he did okay, but it's something about his tone. It's just because anytime you throw it to him, it's always like Kevin Burkhardt. So the Eagles got here on the strength of the defensive line. Yeah, they had a really stout defensive line all year long. They get to the quarterback, they are able to stop the run. What do you think Jalen Hurts will have a good second? Yeah, Jalen Hurts has all the skill set you need as an NFL quarterback. That's how he talks. That's how he talks. Tell me he doesn't.
That's not what I said. I don't know how I feel about you mocking my future Hall of Fame tight end. I don't know how I feel about that. That's
when I played with Carolina, I was able to get open, so I am going to the Hall of Fame.
Watch your mouth.
I will watch my mouth. I will definitely digress.
So Greg, how do you feel about your oatmeal breakfast this morning? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was really good. Sometimes it's a little warm, but today it was the perfect temperature.
What about you prefer brown sugar or milk?
Yeah, I love milk.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Hey, you know what? Coming from a color commentator in training myself, those first few years, you're really Greg is trying to figure everything out.
He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. It's one of those things where there's certain things that we have certain tendencies.
Yep.
Like, and at the end of the day, I mean, sometimes people turn them, and I turn half of what I do into catchphrases. That's why I like my yes sir. That is now a catchphrase. What happened? That's a catchphrase now. But there's certain tendencies. I am trying my best not to be the person, this, that. Some people are bad at that. It's just and they have to make a sound.
There it is now.
they have to make a sound to process their thought before they speak it. And so that may be his mechanism. And now it's stuck in my head, Scottie D.
Maybe it is his mechanism. Anyway, what else we got here? Let me get off his back for a minute.
Yep, this is going on YouTube most definitely. All right. We got the homeboy Jose, because I don't want to butcher his name. He said, they turned around and dropped 74 in the first half. First half, though, can't hate on numbers. I'm tired of everything. Brady news, F that guy. He just kind of all over the place. But yeah, F Tom Brady. He tired of Tom Brady ass. All right.
I forget what he was referencing when he said something about the 74 in the first half. That probably was in in the thread and I missed or whatever. But yeah, he's just tired of Tom Brady. Yeah. And I can't really blame him.
20 plus years of the dude, and you know, he right here taking half naked photos in his drawers and everything. They said somebody dared him to do it or something like that. So anyways,
he is single. And he's loaded, man. He don't give up, no. But don't get too crazy on social media because I'm pretty sure there's a clause in that $375 million contract that get you taken off the air quick. Just ask Michael Irvin.
Yeah, keep clothes on your ass. All right, moving right along. We got Josh Baker. He says, as far as I can't stand to hear about who do we every year have to hear about how great Zeke Elliott is, then watch him completely be mediocre and be outplayed by Tony Pollard. The dude looked unstoppable a few years back behind one of the greatest offensive lines ever assembled, but he's just average. He's tired of hearing about Zeke. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. What y'all think?
Well, to what he's probably saying is that he's probably tired of the fact that Dallas and Scottie D, you can definitely because this is your team, but they still why is Zeke Elliott still their number one running back? Like that's what he's probably tired of. Scottie D talked to us.
I'm tired of that. Yeah. Well, some of these things I can understand. People get tired of hearing just things about them, and I'm sure there's cowboy fatigue all over the place. I mean, people get tired of it. I had a friend of mine used to say, "Man, I'm tired of Emmitt Smith. Every time he gets hurt, the announcers make such a big deal about him coming back onto the field." And I say, but that's not Emmitt doing it. Emmitt's just playing and trying to get back on the field. That's the announcers. This stuff I had more in mind was like, what are these guys doing that are off the field? And you could go to Zeke Elliott back in, he's had a couple of those weird off the field things where he had the whole suspension thing, and then he did something where he's in handcuffs, leaving the fair or something weird. I forget, a music festival or something. He's had a few things also. So, but as far as what he's saying is he's tired of hearing about how good he is when he's not been good for 5 years, and that's understandable.
Yeah, I can understand that. Next up, we got Bruce Wilkinson. He said, "Easy question,
LeBron, the all-time scoring leader in the NBA, and yes, his
then
story
took the night off.
Well,
and took the next game off.
he scored, and they lost down that game that he broke the record. I could definitely see that. He, you knew the accomplishment was coming.
Yeah,
but at this point in time, I'd be okay for the rest of the year if I didn't hear anything about LeBron. Because
and every time he tweets, it's all over the place. I mean, there was a lot going, and part of that too is that everyone wants to shove a camera or microphone in the guy's face every time something happens anywhere across the world. It's just he's been anointed as like the leader of all athletes. So I mean, anytime anything happens, you hear anything about his son. I mean, you hear a lot about his son now just because it's LeBron's son. So that one, I think that's a good call on that one.
I can agree with that. Yes, sir.
And we got a few more before we move along to our next segment. Tony Bogan, what's going on, TB? What's happening? Check out this podcast, Tapped In with Tony Bogan on YouTube and Spotify, all right? He said, even though this man is one of the most accomplished quarterbacks of all time and a surefire Hall of Fame, I got to say Tom, Edward, John, Jacob, Jingleheimer, Smith, Fitzgerald, Kirkpatrick, Brady. So
why did you have to add on? He had it perfect. This was the best name compilation ever. You still couldn't just let it read what he said. You had to add stuff to it. The man said, I gotta say Thomas, Edward, John, Jacob, Jingleheimer, Smith, Brady. His name is my name too. Yes, best name compilation ever. Thank you, Tony. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. I was here for it. I said,
oh man. Man. Thank you, Tony. Moving right along, we got Joe Comfort who gave us an essay. Real quick, he said, a lot of athletes fit the category with the advent of social media. It plays a role who people get tired of. He have to get a nod to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather. He said boxing has been a sport with the tops of Ali and Mike Tyson. Yeah. So he pretty much don't like Floyd Mayweather. It's an ESSAY and whole essay. So yeah, he said he don't like Floyd Mayweather.
There was a minute there where Floyd was, you're hearing a lot about him and his drama.
Yeah.
Essentially what I think, and I'm gonna try to translate. Basically, Floyd Mayweather and his accomplishments. Congratulations, all that. But now every fight that he's fighting isn't even really a fight. It's a promotion. It's an exhibition. It's this. He's money this, money that. He makes all this money. Where is the real boxing? Where is the actual prize fights that we need to talk about? And they're not there anymore. It's the likes of Floyd Mayweather, Tyson Fury, and which one of them Logans? I keep getting these Logans mixed up. You know what?
Jake Paul.
Oh, Logan. Okay. See, I done messed up the last name. There's Jake and Logan Paul. You know what? God. Oh, congratulations to both of them. Screw it. I want to be an influencer and a video creator.
Yeah.
In online, blah, 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 whatever. You know what? I'm now just hating. So, yeah, go ahead. Let's Amtrak and something.
Moving right along, we got our Hall of Famer, Uncle Max. He says Karen Rogers, all right, has been tiring me out for years now. Drama is his middle name. And before we close out this segment, let's go to Trey Duke. He just says Dak Prescott, and there's a note that says, see Sports World's podcast episode 125, 137, 160, episode 9, 10, episode 45. Well, he just don't like him flat out. Just flat out. Yeah. And then
I'm tired of him too.
Yeah. Then he says Antonio Brown or Kyrie Irving, but it's Dak. I'm not gonna do this with you, Trey Duke. It's Dak. You can't stand the man. That's it. You can't stand Dak. With that being said, fellas, a person you're tired of hearing about. Scottie D, what say you?
I got a bunch.
We got the money man's list.
How much time do we have?
I'm going through them quick. But Antonio Brown was definitely one because that dude he's exhausting. And at one point I felt the same way about Terrell Owens. There was always drama with T.O. and he's fighting with Don McNabb on the sideline. He's doing sit-ups in his driveway. He's on the Cowboys starting him. There's always something with T.O. I'm even now, a couple years ago, the guy, he won't go to the Hall of Fame, even though he wanted to be in the Hall of Fame. And then this past year, he's telling everybody, yeah, I'm still in contact with the Cowboys. No, he's not. Go away, T.O. Nobody's buying that garbage.
Didn't he appear in a fan controlled football league?
Yes, he did. That's right. See, he's exhausting, that guy. Maybe he might be the answer to the most ever. For a few years, I got sick of Brett Favre. Will he retire? Won't he retire? We're flying to his property and getting him back, and he's going to the Jets and he's going to the Vikings and all that stuff. And then this is going to actually come to an end. But for the last couple of years, I've been tired of hearing Conor McGregor, who he's going to fight next and who he's tweeting and his drama and his bar fights and he headbutts an old man. And John Jones, he's getting in trouble out of the octagon and he's getting in fights and arrests and all that. And neither of them did anything in the octagon for years. And both are going to fight this year. John Jones in just a few weeks and Conor McGregor at the end of the summer. So those are some of the ones that have given me athlete fatigue through the years. Be live.
I'm going to make this very simple. Thank you, Uncle Matt. There was someone else that said it as well. I'm going to make mine very simple. Aaron Rodgers, I don't care what you do over the summer. And where do you come up with this stuff? Where do you come up? What in the entire hell is a darkness retreat? Who comes up with I get the concept, but this so there's an actual retreat that you are cut, you are separated from all of or you could just turn off your phone, go to your breaker box and just put that off. But now there's a whole retreat that you have to go on. And then there's like, who the hell heard of ayahuasca? And now it's a darkness. I don't care anymore, bro. I don't care, Aaron Rodgers. I really don't care. I'm the penalty box. I think I did add him to my permanent penalty box because what is a darkness retreat? I'm gonna Google it just to see what I need to do to go on a darkness retreat. You know what a darkness retreat is to me? Is when I don't have enough money to pay my electric bill. That's what a darkness retreat is to me. That man, Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you what a darkness retreat is. You see what I just did here? I just turned off my lights.
That's good.
Like, he ain't gonna do nothing but turn his breaker box off, find his business closet, and sit there naked. That's all they're gonna do. That's all he's going to do. All right, and I'll go ahead and go. And since we're speaking of Aaron Rodgers, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. He had to learn it from Brett Favre. Okay, so Brett Favre, he's in the news for all the wrong reasons, and now he wants to sue Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharp because of some mess he did, caught red-handed. All right.
That's true. That's true.
And then now it's over here like, I better be very careful. He might want to try to sue me. Hey, I ain't stealing from nobody, all right?
We're slandering his name for what he did.
Yeah, you did to yourself, partner.
Pat McAfee said it perfectly. Allegedly. We're supposed to put that word in front of it. That makes it sound any better. Allegedly.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. So I'm tired of a former Packers quarterback and a guy that don't know what the hell he want to do. I'm sick of them both. I could care less. As soon as I see Aaron Rodgers, click. With that being said, Scottie D, what's on tap for next week's choices of the voices?
This one is just going to be kind of a quick and to the point one, but who do you think is most likely to return to the Super Bowl next year? Eagles or Chiefs? Pretty basic stuff for next week. Don't have to go too far in depth in your thinking caps. Who is more likely to be in the Super Bowl next year? The Chiefs or Eagles? And that'll give us something to talk about next week. Eddy, cool.
All right, and that about does it for this edition of the Choices of the Voices. Stay tuned. We got a round of pepper coming up next, right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. I'm gonna turn them damn lights off.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
All right, y'all heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, we're going to leave you with a round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really, here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain, all right? And those are the 4 E's in no particular order. I'll give somebody $20 if they remember the exact order. You're probably going to get it. With that being said, I'll go first, all right? On this day in history, back in 1966, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain breaks the NBA career scoring record at 20,884 points. It has since been eclipsed by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who held the record forever, and then it's been eclipsed recently by one LeBron James, putting his crown on his head. Just kind of tilt a little bit, like some pimp and stuff. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right, in 1999, after winning the Super Bowl, John Elway, superstar quarterback, announced his retirement. And here, this year, once again, history repeating itself, when the Super Bowl winning quarterback announces his retirement. That's right, Chad Henne, stepping away from the game. What a long, strange journey it's been. Farewell, Chad Henne, and thank you for the memories. Be Live, over to you.
Anything is possible, baby.
That was an incredible build, because I'm over here like, what the heck? What are you talking about? Yes, I did read that story too. Like, Super Bowl, that was, I applaud you for that.
Thank you. Thank you,
Great bill. All right. Me with my first pepper point. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all of the baseball purists, all the baseball historians out there, do not get your panties in a wad. Just let your speaker go. It is what it is.
You mean the jock strap, D-Live? You mean the jock strap?
I'm not allowed to say that anymore. I'm about to get canceled. Okay. All right, cool. Y'all know what it is. Major League Baseball is making this rule permanent. In all regular season extra inning games, a runner will be placed on second base to begin the 10th inning and every subsequent extra inning after that until a winner is determined. They are making the base runner on second base in extra innings a permanent thing. Boo! Eddy Cool, the ball.
Yeah, well, back to those Rona rules again. Here we go. All right. My second pepper point involves Scottie D's favorite football league, the XFL. Oh, he clears his throat. Wait, let's try this again. The XFL.
Where's your turd? I
thought he was gonna give us but he gave us Greg Olson. Yeah.
Yeah. USFL is a great league. There's a lot of good up and coming talent in USFL.
Greg, wrong league. All right, so here we go. So the week one. The week one begins on Saturday, February the 18th at 3 p.m. with a kickoff between the Las Vegas Vipers and the Arlington Renegades. That'll be at 3 p.m. and you can catch that on ABC. Scottie D might be able to get some tickets. The Orlando Guardians at the uncrowned champions of the XFL prior, the Houston Roughnecks. They'll be on FX and ESPN at 8:30. That'll be the night game. The next day, we got the St. Louis Battlehawks at the San Antonio Brahmas. And closing out week one are the Seattle Sea Dragons at the DC Defenders. Year-round football. Let's get it. Over to you, Scottie D.
I'd rather watch live golf.
And actually on the CW.
On the CW. And by the way, how about Scotty Scheffler getting it done at the Waste Management Open? Big tournament out in Arizona. All right, everybody likes to, every year, we go through this every year. People say, I can't wait to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. And then they go, those commercials were terrible. I didn't like those commercials. Well, I don't know what kind of epic major motion picture you're expecting for 60-second ads in the Super Bowl, but some are better than others. My favorite this year was the He Gets Us, the Jesus commercials, because a lot of people like to villainize Christians and what they stand for, and a lot of that is because of the behavior of certain people. But let me just say, without going too much up on the pedestal here, He Gets Us. I like the positivity that was shown on the light in Christianity over the Super Bowl. That's really all. Be live. Over to you.
All right. Absolutely. I definitely always profess him as my loving, my Lord and Savior. And I may get canceled. Don't care. I ain't gonna deny the man like Peter.
But agree.
What you got to do? You got to channel your inner Mike Gundy. I'm 40. I'm a man. That's how you get somebody off you.
I'm literally 40 years old too.
yeah, me too. Not use that. I'm 40. I'm a man.
Oh man, second pepper point coming at you comes in the form of college basketball. This is not football when I say this. College basketball, you have a new number one team in college basketball. Remember, I said basketball. And it comes in the form of the Alabama Crimson Tide. The number one basketball team in all of collegiate basketball. Purdue lost to Northwestern last week. They had a stranglehold on the number one spot, being unanimous. But yeah, a loss will do that to you. And Alabama makes their first appearance at number one for the first time in 20 years. There's something going on down there in old Tuscaloosa. Eddie Cool, the ball.
And the SEC reigns supreme in men's basketball and women's basketball. Be like, I'm just stating facts. I'm not here to lie. I'm not here to fabricate. I'm not here to BS. I'm here to tell the truth. All right. With that being said, it's time once again for my third and final pepper point. 3 things. It's Tuesday, so you know what that means. All right. 3 things. All right. Thing number 1, stop destroying your damn TVs. Why and for what? Go outside, kick grass, tackle a tree, go do something. TV ain't did nothing to you. It may have broken your heart, but that's what you get for falling in love with a team. They're going to let you down from time to time, again and again, so get it over with, all right?
I'm going to interject real quick. The last video I've seen of somebody destroying the TV, they hadn't even taken the crap out of the wrapper entirely. You can still see the sticker at the bottom and all the tape and stuff on the back of the TV. Come on, bro. Y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do a whole lot better, man. Wow. You bought that TV to purposely
just to break it. Yeah. So you buy it just to break it. I'll take that TV. We'll take that TV. Just donate that to the Sports Bros podcast. That'll be your contribution. All right.
Oh,
yeah. Thing number 2, rumors. The script. Is it staged? First of all, if you're talking about his script, show us the proof. Oh, that's right. You don't have the proof. Arian Foster just said, you know what? They gave me a script and they told me to do this, this, and this. You know what, Arian Foster? You ain't been right since you went vegan, all right? As soon as you went vegan, your career went downhill. You quit eating red meat and people start giving a damn about you. So as far as these script rumors, you need to stop. And this other rumor about Patrick Mahomes taking a rapid drug test after the game and all this stuff. You know what? If you can't improve facts, STFU now and forever. And the third final thing, shout out to Patrick Mahomes Sr. He said, they asked him, what you smoking on tonight? Is that Philly Blunts? What are we smoking on that Philly Blunts tonight? Also, there's a very touching video of Pat Sr. hugging Patrick Mahomes Jr. and telling him, I ain't never seen nothing like you. You one of a kind. You something special. Boy, I love the hell out of you. Warmed my heart because as a guy that lost his father, it strikes me right here. So it's good to see that his daddy, namely a black father, being there for his son. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right. Very good, Eddie. Cool. So I mentioned this earlier in the show, but there was a tremendous fight card put on by the UFC in Australia this past weekend, including the first ever battle of pound for pound number 1s and number 2 at the same night. Alexander Volkanovski, featherweight, and Islam Makhachev, lightweight, going at each other. They were considered the number 1 and number 2 pound for pound best. And Volkanovski came up short 3 rounds to 2, but as I'm looking at the UFC rankings, they still have Volkanovski listed as number 1 on the pound for pound. So I'm not sure if that's going to flip flop or if they're considering that fight was just so good that nothing was decided. But it was an incredible fight. You guys have heard me before talk about these upcoming young guys. Islam Makhachev being one of the guys I said was going to be the champion for a long time because he looks so dominant. In his last fight out, he destroyed Charles Oliveira. And so it only made sense that this time with Volkanovski coming in and going up 10 pounds in weight against a bigger guy, that I was expecting Islam Makhachev to destroy Volkanovski, or at the very least, to beat him handily, to take him down, control him with his wrestling and his striking, because he's a complete package. And yet Volkanovski just stood in there and took everything he had. Some argue he won the fight. I don't believe so. I believe that it was scored correctly with Makhachev taking the first 2 rounds and the 4th round, and Volkanovski taking rounds 3 and 5. But it was an incredible fight. And it was, guys, this was so exciting because Volkanovski is Australian and he had the entire arena was popping for him like a WWE event. Every time he did it, every time he threw a punch or broke a hold, he was able to withstand Makhachev's strengths, which is striking and then controlling him on the ground, and was able to rise up and get to his feet several times. And it was just an incredible fight. And for those of you who don't watch UFC, you miss out when it comes to events like this. So that I just wanted to give a shout out to what could end up possibly being the fight of the year, even though it happened here in early February. But great. I don't know that I've ever seen a fight where I had gained so much more respect from the guy who lost the fight and seen so much shine go on the guy who lost the fight than I have on this particular fight. And I hope we get to see a rematch, and I hope it happens sometime soon. In the meantime, we'll have to sit and wait as John Jones is preparing take on Cyril Gahn for the heavyweight championship in just a few weeks. And on February 26th, Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury boxing match. Looking forward to these upcoming battles, Be Live.
As B Live drops his head.
Oh, brothers, I swear. All right. My third and final pepper point. Scottie D, I believe you'll be very, very interested in this because this is where the Super Bowl commercials actually work because I was very, very intrigued. I will be going to see The Flash. I'm actually in the middle of binge watching all of the seasons of The Flash right now because that looks really good. And I'm a Marvel fan, but that
what about Cocaine Bear? We going to see Cocaine Bear?
Hell no.
I still don't know. I have no idea I don't even know what that even is. So
I'll tell you a little later off air. Be Live. It's like what in the hell? And they say it's based on a true story.
I can't believe that's a real story. That's funny. But anyway, go ahead, Be Live.
But my future binge watching self, I'm very interested in this because there's a new show coming out on Netflix. It's an immersive documentary, and it's debuting on February 15th called Full Swing. And it's a documentary series following a group of professional golfers on and off the course throughout the 2022 PGA Tour season, which will also include the Live Golf Series as well.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
So some of the players that are featured: Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Brooks Koepka, Scotty Scheffler, Ian Poulter, Roy McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Tony Finau watch. Yeah, Matt Fitzpatrick, Sahith Theegala, Joel Zaman, Mito Pereira, and Cameron Young. So this is going to be an in-depth documentary following the 2022 PGA season, on and off, behind the scenes, and all the things. Coming out on Netflix. February 15th. Full Swing. Check it out. I promise you, I'm going to watch it.
They picked a good year to get some juicy stuff.
Exactly. I was like,
no Bryson DeChambeau.
I don't see Bryson DeChambeau on, but I see Dustin Johnson. So you know the Live Golf thing is going to be talked about. Absolutely, and I'm here, and I am absolutely here for it. So thank you, Super Bowl commercials. Best commercial, I don't care what anybody says, was Paramount Plus because Sylvester Stallone was a boob.
I kind of like the Rockstar ones too. I thought they were good. The Rockstar commercial.
Hey, the Tubi commercial had everybody messed up.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God! We who touched the remote?
I have a habit like of leaving the remote like on the couch when I'm laying down, and I was like, "Oh, they're back from commercial," and then all that popped up. Oh, whoa, wait a minute, wait!
Yes.
You got us, you dirty dog.
You absolutely got us. That's good. And
it was also good to see Steve Martin too.
There was when they were doing the coin flip, and right after before they did the coin flip, they did that dedication to the Arizona Cardinals player that went
Pat Tillman.
And they awarded that. They had the award that for the person that was going to toss the coin. Sorry, it wasn't Donna Kelce. But they did that. They literally cut the black and then had that dedication. They're like, oh, and I was like, what happened to the feed? What's going on?
Yeah,
but man, it was impressive to watch. And just to let everybody know, I am the father of Rihanna's baby. All right, cool.
Hey, congratulations. And by the way, those commercials are a little less confusing if you're not like 6 or 7 Zimas in before a kickoff. I mean, that's kind of
Zima. Hey, that's a call. Zima and grits. That's a call back to the whole episode. I think we'll put that one in the link too. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another action-packed episode of the Sports Bowls podcast. Thank you for watching and listening. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for something else. They'll greatly appreciate it now. More than ever, be a blessing, not a burden, because don't nobody like burdens. We love blessings around these parts here. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Be Live, you know what to do.
Yes, sir.
Going to Kansas City, here I come.
KC-Mo. Oh.
Did you know that Kansas City is in Kansas and Missouri?
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City, like it's right there on the line. It's, some people get confused, but yeah.
The state border splits the two cities.
Yeah.
Confusing.
Wild. So what part of Kansas City you live in? Oh, I live in the Kansas part. What about you? Oh, the Missouri part.
Hey guys, the show's over.
Bye. See you next week. According to Scottie D, we need to get the hell up out of here. Bye. Y'all take care. Love you. See ya. Hey, it's Eddy Cool here from the Sports Bros Podcast. And do you want some more of the Sports Bros Podcast in your life? Wait a minute. Don't answer that. The answer is yes. And I know you want some more of the Sports Bros Podcast in your life. Do us a small favor. Go to the description box, click our Linktree link, and you'll see all the links on how to follow the Sports Bros Podcast. Once again, thanks for listening.